What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking out the Spitfire F Mark 9. Now, this is not to be confused with the LF Mark 9 or any of the premium Mark 9s. Although they fly and handle very similarly, this thing doesn't climb as well as the others. At low altitude it climbs very well, but as it gains altitude, the climb rate definitely goes down. And by the time you get to 4 and 5 kilometers, you just don't have a whole lot of power. So I generally don't climb much above 4 kilometers. The altitude I eventually reach generally depends on how high the enemy is. If they climb high, then I usually try to climb a little bit higher. In this particular match, we're on alternate history Berlin, so that means we're up against the Russians. And as you can tell, I did not climb very high. I underestimated how high the Russians were going to actually climb. So I'm flying a little bit, a little defensively, quite frankly. I don't want to get into that fight with the I-185. He's got more cannons, plus he's got the altitude advantage right now. I'm hoping that either I can get above him or he'll dive on that Spitfire behind me. Either way, I want to have the advantage if at all possible. Those of you who haven't gotten into Tier 4 yet, I recommend using this to grind all the Tier 4 Spitfires. Put a talisman on this thing and you can really rank those, or research those Spitfires rather quickly. I'm thinking awfully hard about diving on these guys. I got the altitude, no one's above me. It's a matter of picking out which one to go for. This guy looks like a nice target. He's separated himself from his teammates. As you may be able to hear in the background, I've got a Spitfire right next to me. He's just off my right wing. I open fire on this I-185 and take off the tip of his right wing. Tango down, first kill of the match. And I have to give props to that Spitfire pilot who was off to my right. He respected the critical damage that I did to the I-185 and backed off. He didn't try to kill steal it. That's good etiquette. Now who to go for? Lots of guys down below. Search my surroundings. I don't see anybody up here. So we're going to go see how many other Russians are down here. As I begin my dive, I take a peek up just to see who was up here. No one up in the clouds yet. But Alex here looks like a nice little target. He's not all the way down there with his buddies, but he's on his way. And it looks like he's got his target in mind, that P-47. I want to try to save the P-47 if I can, and look at all the Russians that are popping up down here. Everyone's down low. I back off my throttle just a little bit, because I'm worried about ripping. However, in order to catch this yak, I'm going to have to accelerate. P-47 goes vertical, so does the Yak 9. I follow pursuit, miss a couple of shots, then I finally get him with the last burst, tearing off the side of his wing, giving me the second kill of the match. And you'll notice I just keep climbing. I don't want to get down there and dogfight with all those yaks. Even though the Spitfire is a superior turn fighter at low altitude, the yaks have the advantage in numbers. Even if I manage to down 1 or 2 of them, they still have superior numbers. I just don't want to get into a slow turn fight. Eventually numbers will catch up and will take me out. Now the reason I went vertical is I wanted to get above everyone, just to make sure that no one had a little sneaky shot at me. This yak wants to take out that P-47, so we're going to do a little boom and zoom. We're going to try to keep our teammate alive. First shot lights him on fire, second shot takes him out. Takes out his pilot. Nice little pilot snipe. After the third kill of the match, I immediately go vertical. I want to get above these guys as best as I can. They have some energy, but they don't have as much energy. This Yak 9 tries to take a couple of shots at me, nicks me. Nothing serious though. Nothing the boys back at the airfield can't buff out. As I stall out, I dive back down, reassessing the situation. We've got 3 Russians and Yaks below us. Which one to go for? The one on the left, one on the right, one in the middle. The one in the middle ends up right back on one of my teammates' tail. Typhoon's in trouble, so I slide in behind the yak, trying to take him out. First burst, get a hit. Second, some more hits. Third, crit his tail. But being a Russian fighter, it's made out of titanium or some damn thing. This thing will not fucking die. Well, that's 4 kills, and we managed to keep the teammate alive. I did, however, go through quite a bit of ammo. We started off with 240 rounds of 20mm cannon ammunition, And we're down to just about a third of that. And now I get into my classic which way to go, because I got either an enemy here to get or an enemy behind me to get. And either way, I have teammates in both areas, so which one do you go for? Because there's really no obvious way to go. Either way, I end up working with my teammates, or basically fighting with my teammates over the kill. And the Spitfire is not fast enough for me to catch this guy. One of the drawbacks that you'll see here, as well as in a minute here, is the Spitfire is rather slow. You can't catch a lot of fighters in a straight line. Try to finish off this I-185 with my MGs, but he's not. He despawned. Go heads up with the NAC 9. Only got a hit, nothing critical. I really didn't want to go out on a head-on, but I honestly wasn't really paying much attention to that fight. I was more focused on the I-185. Crit this guy's elevator, put some more shots into him, but he doesn't go down. Instead, I start taking incoming fire. Turns out that the I-185 wasn't dead. He was actually repairing, so he's back from the grave. Just a little bit low. That shot takes off part of his wing, just to ensure that I get the kill, because I do have teammates in the area. I switch over to MGs and finish him off for the 5th kill of the match. Yak 3 and a Yak 9 here in front of me. This is one of those times where I wish the Spitfire was a little bit faster, because it just doesn't have the speed to catch these guys in a straight line. The Yaks have a little bit more speed than me. On me, boys, let's go, let's go. The Russian airstrip is just ahead. Here's another aircraft coming from my right. I really don't want to get anywhere near the airfield because of the AAA. See, I've got AAA coming in, taking some shots at me right here already. For some strange reason, this Yak decides to turn around. Instead of using his base as a defense, he turns around and basically just gives himself up, because I can't imagine why he did this. Just flew straight. He avoided me. I used a couple of cannon rounds, but mostly it's MGs, just trying to do some more damage. I already crit this guy's elevator, so the last couple of rounds, just finish him off, send him into some poor guy's apartment. That's kill number 6. Now we are a little low on ammo, and here we got some packet loss. Got under 40 rounds of cannon, under 200 rounds of machine gun ammunition. So at this point, I need my teammates. Keeping teammates alive for times like this tends to be important. Sometimes keeping your teammates alive will help you keep your tail clear, but sometimes you'll need them just because of their ammo. If I were to turn back and go 25, 30 kilometers back to the base, the match would probably end by the time I get there. So you still got a handful of guys left. The AR-2, which is a medium Russian bomber, is the only thing that's showing up. Here we go. PE-2, another Russian bomber. A little concerned about him because he has front guns as well as rear gunner. And the Yak shows up. He's on the runway. Or actually, I believe he's just landing. I believe that was the Yak that I was following, but he managed to outrun me. I tell my teammate that I'm not going anywhere near that runway because of the flak. I don't have a very good track record of flying near enemy bases. I tend to get shot down far too often. The AR-2 crashes. The Yak crashed. Now we have the Peshka. I'm playing a little cat and mouse with him here because I don't want to go towards the air base. I want to lure him away. I'm going to lure him away from the base so that I can go after him and take him out. If he's too close to the base, then he'll use that base as a defense. As he separates himself from the base, I decide to turn around and go right after him. It's going to take me a little bit to get there, but he won't be at the base by the time I'm able to intercept him. The concern I have, obviously, is the rear gunners. All he has to do is put in a couple of API rounds, and my plane will be just engulfed in flames. As I close the distance, I open up a couple of bursts. As his gunners open up, I decide to go with everything I have, finishing him off, emptying my cannon ammunition, and securing the 7th kill of the game. At this point, there's really nothing I can do. There's one guy left, but I think he's dead. The AR-2, I believe, is technically dead. I don't think he can repair. There we go. Game over. That was a hell of a game. 7 kills in realistic battles. All 7 kills were player kills, no AI. I thought using stealth rounds was a pretty important part of this particular match, because even though I missed some shots, most of my shots were accurate, but I think some of the guys never saw the shots coming. I think I caught some of them by surprise. When you use tracer rounds, you allow the enemy to see where your shots are coming from. So if they see those shots, they'll be able to react and avoid those shots. You know, if you happen to be a bad shot, so what? You know, just take out one of the belts with tracers and just do your best. Eventually work your way up to the stealth ammunition, which is very deadly. The stealth rounds not only allow you to take out the pilot with pilot snipes, you can also take off wings with relative ease. Some of those shots that I made, where I just shot off just that very tip of the wing, and the airplane just rolled over and kind of inverted itself and just crashed in the ground. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Leave a comment in the section below. Hit that thumbs up button, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.